But Larry Jones, the late Larry Jones, in his infinite wisdom, came to me as I was program director then with this group called the Z-Rock Crew. And he said they mixed, they played, they rapped, and I'm like, they did what? You know, it was new, it was different, it was somewhat 30-something, 40 years ago. But anyway, we convinced the doctors that this was the moneymaker for Central Virginia. Not everybody liked it. That was the early impact, not everybody liked it. But one of the good impact was some people did like it. Some people who were influential liked it. When WKIE would be in the community playing rap music, hip-hop music, we drew crowds that really enjoyed, which means the station got recognition, which means the ratings went up, which means we could charge the advertisers more. So rap music was on a roll at WKIE in Central Virginia. So although there was some negativity early on because it was different, you know, not everybody understood it. Not many people understand it now. But how can you not move when you hear something? It kind of goes with the territory now. So what it did was impact a movement. And as it grew nationally and worldwide and globally, rap became hip-hop, hip-hop became culture, lifestyle, money-making, and worldwide availability for respect.
Malik's First Job Podcast, here to answer any questions that y'all ask. Financial literacy and resources, parents and young people becoming bosses, CEOs, future leaders, entrepreneurs, conferences and boardrooms getting sponsors secured. If you want generational wealth, Brooklyn's own Kerwyn Phillip with information to help. Malik's First Job Podcast, Malik's Podcast, Brooklyn's own Kerwyn Phillip, Kerwyn Phillip. Malik's First Job Podcast, podcast, Brooklyn's own Kerwyn Phillip. Generational wealth.
I go up to the station. No, I had to come out of his house first. I got the key. He slammed the door. Go there and come when you get there. Slam the door. Open the door. I said, what do you want me to do? He said, put the ID in. I put the legal ID in. It was on something called a carton, like an 8-track. Put it in there. I put the ID. He said, now, I cued a record like he had showed me, and I played it. He said, okay, I'll call you back in 15 minutes, put another record on, just play records, and hit drops in between it, and do all that. I said, what am I doing? He said, you're on the air. He said, now I want you to call the weather. You used to have to call the weather back in the days. And I had to get the weather forecast. I said, what do you want me to do with this, Chip? I want you to crack that mic and say the station ID and say the weather. I don't think I've ever been that nervous in my life. After I did that first break, I said, this is what I want to do from now on. I wanted to be an astronaut, believe it or not. Yes, I did. But radio hit me then, and that was it for me. That's what I wanted to do. Unfortunately, it didn't really work out that way even to the present time, but I have my own radio station now that I do. So, and Mike told me, you got the best thing in the world. So, getting it from him, I know I'm all right. So yeah, it did. Yeah, it came from me quitting the job. That's where it came from.
No doubt. All right, so Bravador, this question's for you. Right, you just finished watching the Legends of Central Virginia Hip Hop, right?
Right.
So, what was like the motivation or the inspiration to actually put this documentary together?
I didn't want nobody else to tell that story. I wanted to be one of us because I lived it. Each person right here that's in it lived it, lives it, and I had done a documentary before, like I said, Soul R&B Radio Legends of Central Virginia. That went so well. Somebody said, man, then come on, man, you got to do one for the hip-hop brothers and sisters. I said, you know, you're right, and I will do it. So in 2011, I started filming it. And it took me 6 years to be able to even present it. It took me 6 years. So it was because I wanted us to tell the story. At that time, you know, everybody was getting to be independent filmmakers, everybody. I mean, people were going to Target and Walmart and buying DSLR cameras and they were calling themselves filmmakers. That's fine. But I said, I need to do something now because it's going to get lost in the sauce if I don't do it. So, and that's not putting anybody else down that didn't do it, but I just knew everybody that I would talk to and every experience that I had in Central Virginia and Richmond, DJing and going to parties. I had a first time encounter. I encountered it. I was there. So I said, you know, what better person to do it than me or someone else? But I was the only one at the time doing film stuff. So I said, let me do it. And stuff. I mean, of course, now you got a lot of people doing films and doing a darn good job of it, you know, and stuff. So I don't want it to be to where I'm saying I'm the only one. No. I mean, everybody has a different way of telling their story. I'd like to see that. I would like to just say, hopefully I made a spark in somebody to do one also, even about Central Virginia hip hop, because there's some things that I did not have in there, but there's some things maybe they can grab, you know, or what have you. Everybody has a right to tell the story they want to tell. I just told it the way that I thought I could, and to give it to all of us. That's why I did it.
No doubt, no doubt. All right. Lonnie B, this question's for you. All right. So, I remember seeing you back in the 90s as a battle rapper.
Yeah.
Right? You know, and of course you transitioned to DJ.
Yeah.
Right. Now, what role did you being part of the SupaFriendz play in your career?
What role did being a part of SupaFriendz play in my career? You know, the one thing that was unique about the SupaFriendz, people would always give us credit for our lyrical ability, but fast forward to life, if you look at the things that all of us are doing right now, it's all centered around creativity. You know what I'm saying? So to be surrounded by a crew of people that inspire me creatively, you know what I'm saying, I think it helped push and motivate me to do some of the things that I've you know, been doing. Danger Mouth, it's like a brother to me, mentor kind of, because a lot of the things that I do when it comes to branding, you know, Danger doesn't believe in saying something could have been better. If it could have been better, make it better. You know, that's kind of some of the things that I've picked up from him. So again, different things that I've picked up from all the different people in the crew, but mainly just being surrounded by some of the most creative brothers in my demographic during the time that I was coming up. Definitely inspired me.
No doubt, no doubt. So I guess this is for everyone, right? So what was the impact of radio stations like WKIE in bringing this new form of music to Richmond?
Mickey, you want to answer? Ladies and gentlemen, we'll let Mickey Spencer answer that.
Thank you. I'll tell you the impact of WKIE on Central Virginia.
You're good right there. You're good
Okay.
right there.
You all talked about how you were chastised and harassed. You all have talked about what happened early on when you were playing rap music. Well, early on, nobody wanted rap music because Richmond was pretty conservative. WKIE was owned by two doctors, Dr. Bell and Dr. Cummings. They liked smooth jazz and gospel music. And it was an AM station. Smooth jazz and gospel music is what we were all about, and that was really good. The audience loved it. We got advertisers. But then the FMs came on board with smooth jazz, R&B, and gospel music. So if you had the opportunity to listen to that on an FM station as opposed to an AM station, many chose the FM station. So our ratings didn't do that well. But Larry Jones, the late Larry Jones, in his infinite wisdom, came to me as I was program director then with this group called the Z-Rock Crew. And he said they mixed, they played, they rapped, and I'm like, they did what? You know, it was new, it was different, it was somewhat 30-something, 40 years ago. But anyway, we convinced the doctors that this was the moneymaker for Central Virginia. Not everybody liked it. That was the early impact. Not everybody liked it. But one of the good impact was some people did like it. Some people who were influential liked it. When WKIE would be in the community playing rap music, hip hop music, we drew crowds that really enjoyed, which means the station got recognition, which means the ratings went up, which means we could charge the advertisers more. So rap music was on a roll at WKIE in Central Virginia. So although there was some negativity early on because it was different, you know, not everybody understood it. Not many people understand it now. But how can you not move when you hear something? It kind of goes with the territory now. So what it did was impact a movement. And as it grew nationally and worldwide and globally, rap became hip-hop, hip-hop became culture, lifestyle, money-making, and worldwide availability for respect. So now hip-hop is respected. It took us 50 years to do it, didn't it? But we can celebrate it now. But the impact on Richmond and Virginia was light early on, but it has truly grown, and this is a result thereof. Thank you.
So this is kind of piggyback off for that, because I remember again coming up, you know, in the late 70s, early 80s, that, you know, a lot of people thought hip hop was a fad. It was going to go away, right? And now we hit this 50-year milestone, right, where it's being recognized. Like, how important is that, right? Well, what are your thoughts on, like, reaching the 50th anniversary? As Biggie said, you never thought that hip hop would take it this far, right? So now that it's this far and going further, well, what are your thoughts on that?
I'm sorry, Phillip. I think it's very important, and I think it's great because it shows the power of black people. Okay, something we created from nothing. And Jay told me this, I gotta give him credit for this. We always take stuff that nobody else wants, and we create something out of it, right, Jay? Right? Yeah. Hip hop, the Bronx was burning, disco was moving, Grandmaster Flash was making this mixer where you could hear the other turntable before he brought it in, and nobody knew what was going to come from that. Then the blackout happened in '77. I wasn't there, but all the stories I hear, I wish I was, because everybody had crews the next week with brand new equipment. Now look, please don't judge me for that. But I'm just saying, let's be real. You in the Bronx, you at a party out there on the playground. The lights go out. Everybody says blackout, and everybody's running, and they go into Crazy Eddie's or all the other electronic places and get ready to grab stuff. You wouldn't. Never mind. No, don't answer. But anyway, I say all that to say yes. 50 years in '73 with what Kool Herc was doing. And I still say this too, because Jay, you piggyback on this, please. Help me out on this. You still have the brothers in Queens too, we gotta mention. You know, and in Brooklyn, Grandmaster Flowers, where they say Flash got his name from. Then you're also talking about the sound system guys, DJ Jones, all of those guys. They was in '68 and stuff doing things. So it's really a little longer than that. But the fact of the matter is that the way we know it from the Bronx is what Kaz said to me, that, you know, hip-hop as we know it was from '73, which Kaz is one of the original MCs, Grandmaster Kaz and Cold Crush Brother. All of that time, and then we go into records, and then just seeing it elevate, and then you got TV shows, you got movies, you got, it's just expanded in so much. I went from a DJ to a filmmaker, you know, a little bit of acting too. I suck, but I did it. Hip-hop really has the power to change the world. It still does. You got certain people that got their hands on it, turned it into something else, which I don't call hip-hop. I ain't gonna build on it, but it's not, I don't call it hip-hop.
Are you or your child interested in the performing arts? Let me introduce you to the I Can Performing Arts Program. This program, founded by actor, director, writer, entrepreneur, and Philadelphia native Nakia Dillard provides high-quality performing arts training to youth and adults in a safe, fun, friendly online environment. Since its inception in 2009, ICANN Performing Arts has reached over 1,000 students and workshop participants in the Philadelphia, Pennsylvania area alone. ICANN Performing Arts founder, Nakia Dillard, has worked alongside some of the most recognized and influential names in the industry, such as Bill Duke, Jamie Foxx, Anthony Mackie, Wendell Pierce, Kerry Washington, and other notable performers. He has appeared in The Wire, Black Lightning, Law-Abiding Citizens, and The Wonder Years. For more information about the ICANN Performing Arts program, please see the link in the show notes below. Thank you. Peace. Are you looking for a way to teach your kids about money management and responsibility? Look no further than the Greenlight Card. The Greenlight Card is a debit card for kids that parents can manage through an app, giving you complete control over where and how much your child spends. With the Greenlight Card, you can start teaching your kids valuable financial lessons while earning rewards at the same time. For more information about Greenlight and to get started, please click the link in the show notes below. Thank you. Malik's First Job, Financial Principles for Teens, is an excellent resource to get your children started on understanding the basics of financial literacy. This book, which is set in Brownville, Brooklyn, about a young man who gets his first job and then shortly thereafter sits down with his dad to learn how to manage his money. There are several topics that are covered within this work, such as paying yourself first, disciplining your spending, knowing the difference between an asset and a liability, creating multiple sources of income, as well as the importance of being charitable. So again, if you want to get your children started on understanding finance and becoming responsible adults, we highly recommend that you purchase the book, Malik's First Job, Financial Principles for Teens. So please visit maliksfirstjob.com to get more information. Peace.
You just gotta find it. Exactly. Just gotta find it. It's there. It's there. I bet you I can tell Lonnie right now, give me a funky fresh rhyme. I bet you'll give me something. I can ask Jay, give me a funky fresh rhyme. I guess he'll give me something. I bet you fresh, I can ask him the same thing. Because it's still there. So it's just what we have to do. We got to stop getting satisfied with what we just hear on, just on a humbug coming across your ears. If it's in your heart, go look for it. We got a whole virtual universe out there where you can find just about anything you want.
Real briefly, the importance of it to me, it's great that we're at 50. That's a hallmark number. If we're here for the next 50, a lot of us won't be, but we won't be in any position to celebrate it like we are now. So I will say to remember, it was just as important. I've been online doing hip hop history for 25 years. So it was just as important to me. First time I got interviewed anywhere was 87. He interviewed me on WKIE, him and DJ Fresh. And I was listening to the interview recently because I'm doing a documentary on our group. And I was talking about old school stuff in 87. And I'm like, wow, I was always a historian. It was just as important to me in 87 as it is today. What I don't want to happen is us to do this big 50 thing, and then we go back to how it was. The energy as the young people say, keep that energy. Let's keep that energy next year when it's 51. And the only other thing I add is let's also remember, rap is the most easily exploitable of the elements. But let's not forget there was also the B-boy. It started with the DJ. The DJ was really the first MC because all the DJs would say these little phrases and the MCs advanced it. And then you had, the graffiti and the other outer elements that were part of it. And what we're going to see a lot this year is just rap, because that's the most exploitable. Let's forget. Mickey mentioned the word culture. It's a culture, it's a way of life, and I think we should keep that in mind going forward.
Huh?
What you laughing at? For me, I just love to actually be here to watch the maturity of hip hop. I remember sitting in my backyard playing the first Nintendo, listening to Bravador on the radio, you know what I'm saying? Playing Double Dribble, you know what I'm saying? Listening, back then WK used to give away 12 packs of vinyl. You would call, I would call, I remember on a K9 Posse record from back then. So to go from that kid that loved hip hop and listened to hip hop every day, to getting a career in hip hop and hearing the older people say that, you know, that's not music, that's not music, and then to watch it continue to mature, and now I have a daughter. My daughter's a DJ. And now to find myself on the other side when she's playing her music, and I'm saying that's not music. So again, to sit here and watch just the growth of it, I love it. The one thing I'll say is, you know, a lot of people from our generation will talk about how the younger music is not good or it's not trash. I just feel like it's not for us. You know, the same way that you know, our music was for us, that music is for them. So
I agree.
even though it might not be for me, I would never downplay it, because they will be the ones that's going to take hip hop for the next, you know what I'm saying, next year. And even if it doesn't sound the way that it sounded for us, we still have to respect the influence and the way that they can shift the culture. So.
All of what they said. What stands out for me in 50 years is that it's actually taken 45 of those years before the people who are they call them content creators now, the creators of the music, of the visuals, have taken more of a substantial entrepreneurial hold of the culture. First 45 years was exploitation by people who understood the business. Now I think what 50 means to me is that you're starting to see a lot of the people who were just the creators starting to take the business into their own hands and take advantage of that, create, you know, generational wealth, help their friends come up, or, you know, trial and error. But before it was just about being part of the creative side. You only had a handful of people who had the foresight over those 50, you know, up to 5 years ago, maybe 10 years ago. Only a handful of people who say, you know what, you do the music, I want to worry about this money over here. And everybody just wanted to do the music. Everybody wanted to be the DJ. Everybody yeah, you know what, I'll take a piece of the door, a small piece. Oh yeah, take $200, that's yours. I'll take this 10 grand and we good. You know, yeah, put that album out. Yeah, you know what, we'll give you 5 cents for every $10 album that we sell. And that's how it was. In some cases, that's how it still is, but now we have a lot of people who, you know, who learned off the backs of other people. They watch the TLC documentary, and they hear they see all of the retired rappers and singers and stuff that live in squalor, or, you know, that are 65, 70 years old, having to still work just to keep the lights on. And that's the part that I enjoy about the 50, is seeing it, say, oh, we do have something that's viable. We do have something that has value. We do have a way to take advantage of what it is that we create without having to have other people be the go-between.
Thank you. All right, so I'm going to ask one more question, then we'll go into a Q&A session with the audience. So in the documentary, we saw that the legacy, right, of the past, right, in Central Virginia, right? I remember coming up, only person I knew from Central Virginia area was Mad Skills, right? That's the only person I knew, right? But, you know, of course, you know, because he came on the scene and just, you know, kind of took over. But now today, you have a lot of up-and-coming artists in the area, right? What can be done today to help enhance the culture and help those artists that exist today get exposure?
I'll start with that. A common misconception is that the playing field is level because of social media, because of the internet, because you're able to start your own label. The reality is because everybody can do it and everybody has access to it, it's even more muddied. You know, it's like, yeah, I have a shot. It's like, yeah, but you just added another million people to that same shot. So your odds are actually less. With that being the case, it boils down to the original formula. You have to be extraordinary in some way, shape, or form. In the case of hip hop, either you have to have extraordinary marketing, you have to be extraordinary as an entertainer. You have to resonate with people enough where they sing your praises. Outside of that, you're just like the other. If I'm just making this number up, but somebody can check it later. If I had to guess, there's probably 50 million rappers on the planet right now, whether professional or just doing it for the hell of it. And the professional ones that are trying to feed their family are stuck in the same lanes as the ones who are just doing it just to do it for fun, just for the art of it. And because of that, you have to have that extra. You have to have relationships with people who have access to the places that you want to go or the things you want to do. If you're a great rapper, you don't have the tracks, you need to find a great producer. If you're a great producer and you're trying to showcase your talent, you have to have an equally talented, if not more talented person on your track. If you're a great creator, you have to have a great business mind, a great legal mind on your team, a great promotional mind on your team in order for you to have that exposure. And if you don't have any of that, you're still down there with the other, what's that number I said, 20 million? It's gonna keep getting bigger, everything is bigger. Let's say with that 20 million people. And I'll say a lot of us, because I'm talking about the hip hop generation, I can't speak for the generation before, we have egos. We think we know everything. We don't want help. We think it's a sign of weakness to ask for help, especially from people that we don't necessarily like. Everybody likes winning. So if I recognize that you like winning, I like winning, but I don't like the way you do your thing, cool. We can do business from 9 to 5 and then I don't have to talk to you till tomorrow. But I think that exposure comes from teaming up with people who have similar ideas of trying to reach a similar goal that are exceptional in what it is that they do.
What was the question again?
What can be done to help, enhance the culture and expose local artists here in Central Virginia?
I think in life, we've all been doing this for a long time. I think it's, our job and our goal to share the knowledge, give the younger generation a lot of the information and the things that we've done so they can avoid some of the mistakes that we made. I think one of the biggest problems, though, is when I think of a lot of people right now, like Mike Street said, because of social media, everything is right now, it's instantaneous. So these artists, when they approach, I can't speak for other people, but when I think of myself as a radio DJ, when they approach me about playing their music, all they want to do is hear their music played. Like if I put them to the side and try to give them all of the game in the world, like, make sure you do this, blah, 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 I sound like Charlie Brown's math teacher to them. If it's not, you want to play my record, they don't care about what I'm, saying. So, if we could just kind of get to a place where we could, take all the things that we've learned and share it and pass it down to the next generation.
I think I take a combination of what they both said. And you gotta be humble and learn how to pivot too, because what you thought might have been for you at a point, maybe that wasn't for you. I could always do multiple things. I always loved public speaking, which kind of rode the rail of being an MC. I could do multiple things. There became a time in the 90s when I was like, okay, the new styles and everything is going on. As great of an MC as I think I am, like I said about the ego, I know I'm the best. But at the same time, that don't mean that I can still do what these guys are doing. In fact, I told you about about the conversations and the time I spent with this man showing me the new ways to do stuff. And I was like, yeah, I like that. I like what he's saying, but I think that's for them to do. I grew up on a drum machine doing this, and that's what I'm comfortable with. So at a time when the internet came out, I knew I had to reinvent myself. Maybe I ain't meant to be the best MC. I always think I'm the best MC. Cats have told me, yeah, you're the best to ever do. That's great. But maybe I can pivot. I know the history. I'm pretty good at delivering the history. I'm a good writer. Maybe I'll leave MCing alone and I'll dabble over here. The more things you throw at the dartboard, the more prone something is to hit. And the other thing.
Generational wealth.